back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're actually going to do the draft next hour. But for now, we're going to talk about the fact that the Browns didn't get picked. Mike said, what's the term you used? Awarded.
I used the term awarded.
As if it's an award. I mean, the Browns have some national popularity for one reason. Shedeur Sanders. That's it.
Right.
There's nothing from if you're not a Browns fan, there's really nothing interesting about the Browns as a football team. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you didn't work, Zach, if you were just a fan in Carolina, would there be any reason to care about the Browns?
Harold Fannin.
Okay.
Miles.
Yeah, no, they haven't been relevant, Bull.
Right,
they were in the playoffs 2 years ago and have won 8 games since. So, yeah, that's understandable. Honestly, one of the things, this is the new graphic that just came out this morning when these were official, but one of the graphics the NFL put out earlier this week for the schedule release had Myles Garrett in it, and I thought that was really interesting because the Browns are getting the most 2 primetime games. But I think awarded is kind of fair for the international.
Yeah.
Jacksonville plays every year.
Yeah.
They had chosen the Rams to go to Australia. There's only 9 games. So there's more than ever, and it's the first game in Paris.
Yeah.
And there was a pretty strong report back earlier in the year. But 2 years ago, the Browns thought they were going to Brazil, and then the NFL said, we're not sure we want Deshaun Watson in the first game of the year.
Yeah.
And then the Browns didn't go to Brazil. So I don't know if that's what happened here. There's a lot that goes into these. Going all the way back 10 years when the Browns first went to London, the decision was made months and months in advance, but the Browns that year did not win a single game until Christmas Eve. So they kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and they ended up not announcing it until February. But so, was it awarded then? That's just how it worked. And there's something in the formula. Both times they've gone to London in the last decade, they've played the Vikings. Yeah. So there's just something in the formula of how it goes.
And I think the Bengals, who don't go to Europe very often also.
They haven't gone in the Burrow era, right? This is the first time in the Burrow era.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I could be making this up, but I feel like I have a memory of them playing the Falcons in England.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong, but maybe it was the Vikings. I don't know. Maybe I'm pretty sure I remember. In fact, I think they played a wild game against the Falcons that was like 40-something to 40-something at some point in the last decade. I don't know. But it might have been 2016. Check out 2016 Bengals.
I'm looking for it right now.
Schedule. I think I remember being in my hotel room during the World Series when I was in Chicago for the Cubs Indians World Series. And I think I remember watching the Bengals at 9:30 in the morning.
Who would the Bengals quarterback have even been in 2016? I'm racking my brain.
Well, it's Andy Dalton, but they did not play the Falcons in 2016.
Yeah,
but was it the Vikings?
They did not play the Vikings in 2016.
But were they in Europe?
I cannot tell based off the schedule.
Sorry, I sidetracked us. But anyway, should we be insulted?
No, I don't think so. Look, last year the 3 teams did not get a primetime.
They were in London. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
They were in London. They tied the Redskins at the time.
Okay. It was a wild game, right?
What'd you say?
What was the score?
27-27.
All right, I was off a little bit.
You're only off by 2 touchdowns.
I was right about the year. Wrong by the final score total. And
Kirk Cousins threw for 460 yards in the game.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, so we know when we see the schedule, right? We know the Cowboys. We know the Seahawks, the Rams, the Chiefs. They're going to have the maximum amount of games.
Yeah.
Last year, the Browns were one of 3 teams that did not have any primetime standalone
which
games.
is crazy.
The league was the Titans, the
Yeah.
Browns. They were right about 2 of those 3 teams.
Right.
So
who was the third one?
The Saints, who ended up having a decent year.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be bad. They were bad.
Right,
They made a little run.
Bengals played in England in 2019
against the Falcons.
Rams.
I don't know.
So that was Burrow, right?
No, he was drafted in 2020.
2020. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's his first time going over there. So it's a privilege. It's something unique.
Yeah.
But, where they actually stand is going to be more told when we see the full schedule. And then, of course, you always get a chance to play into those games.
Yeah.
If you're any good.
Do we think that when it comes to primetime games, if the league thinks it's going to be Watson and not Shedeur playing, that the Browns are less likely to get a primetime game?
1,000%.
I agree, yeah.
1,000%. But
because Watson's not even intriguing. He's not even interesting anymore. He was when they first got him.
Sure.
But he's not interesting. So you have the negative with him, but none of the positive.
Right.
Whereas Shedeur is interesting. People care about him.
Very popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very popular.
It's like second in jersey sales. It's a
crazy.
5th round
It's
pick.
crazy.
Yeah. So
It is wild. So, yeah, I mean, and we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. Obviously, it feels like everything's trending towards Watson, but who knows what the truth is.
yeah, they don't even start OTAs for 6 more days.
Right.
You know,
But when they announce the schedule tomorrow, do you think? I think the Browns will have one primetime game. I'll say one.
I feel confident about one. Mike and I have been going back and forth on 2. You know, they've added a night before Thanksgiving game this year.
Right.
And they have 3 weeks of Saturday games to where maybe.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times they'll announce 4 or 5 candidates and then pick them
Do we
later.
count the Saturday day game as a primetime game?
Yes.
I think you do.
If we're
Yeah.
counting that, then maybe I'll
It's a
say
standalone window,
But
right?
we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
One of the topics is going to be the line is set at over under 1.5, and you're going to have to.
I
make
mean, the
your
Browns
pick.
are going to be near the bottom.
Sure. But when you think about it, they
Yeah.
have all the divisional matchups are compelling because
Yes.
there's great rivalries, they're competitive games,
Right.
and 2 of the quarterbacks in this division are MVP
Sure.
candidates.
The Falcons.
Right. The Steelers are a national.
Right.
Steelers are an international team. That's
Yes.
probably why they ended up getting the nod.
Yeah.
Right. But they're always good. They always play competitive games. So, you know, I think and we'll talk about it more. But the Browns
Yeah.
against Baker Mayfield and the Browns against Kevin Stefanski, are those national appeal? They're interesting. They provide storylines. You know, somebody in the NFC South is going to be really good because it's kind of like the AL Central. Somebody's got to win.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm a fan not of the Browns or the Falcons, I don't care about the Falcons-Browns.
Yeah, but if I'm the Browns and I got to go to Tampa in September, I want it to be a Monday night game or a Thursday night game because I want it to be 87 degrees instead of 116.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys
good
this,
point.
and Dustin, real quick,
Yeah.
because I know we're running out of time. But the Browns this season are only traveling 9,073 miles to all their road games. It's the second fewest miles traveled by any team in football. The only team that travels less is the Panthers. Real quick, having significantly less travel, 9,000 versus the Niners, who are traveling 38,000 miles this year. How much of a difference does it take on your body over the
But
course
it's
of the
always,
season?
the Niners are always
You
gonna
didn't play.
travel
I want to hear
more.
from Dustin.
They don't
Play.
always go to Mexico City in Australia.
It's a significant toll. I mean, people don't realize. I mean, you get on a plane for 3-4 hours. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a while to adjust, especially the time zones. I mean, I played out in California a few times, played West Coast a few times. Like, it's definitely tough to adjust. I mean, you get out there and you try to like get on schedule with what's going on there. It's and not to mention like just being on a plane, you get dehydrated. Your body doesn't respond the way you'd like. So there you go. There's your answer.
More coming up in hour number 2, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. The Browns.